Welcome to it as Mamelodi Sundowns get ready to take on Bidvest Wits in the third and fourth playoff for the 2017 Gauteng Future Champs. Live from the Nike Center. These sides, of course, that have done the best of the South African lot, but not of the African lot, as, of course, there's an African side that will be in the final from Nigeria. Now, the brass band from the Bidvest Stadium is present here at the Nike Stadium. They've vacated their instruments for now, I'm sure, while they get a beverage or two, and they'll get on to their drums and their horns as soon as the teams make their way out of the tunnel. Those that have turned out early for the opening game of the day then that saw, of course, an entertaining showdown between sides that were battling for the top 9 position, number 9 and 10, to be separated in that regard. And as the two South African outfits come out here, these are sides that have been amongst the most entertaining throughout the week, and of course lost out at the last hurdle before the final. They'll be looking to, well, have the beating of one another in the battle for third place. Bidvest Wits, the finalists last year, losing out to Atletico Madrid up against an exciting Mamelodi Sundowns side that looked as though they, well, were able to do the business until they ran into a brick wall in the way of the NPFL All-Stars, the Nigerian Premier Football League All-Stars from a youth development point of view, up against the Bidvest Wits that found the going tough against the club side they lost to last year in the final in Atletico Madrid. Well, at times it's looked as though they've punched above their weight level, both these sides, in some of their victories, but they certainly have been entertaining and have served up a good quality of South African football and have, well, certainly done South Africa proud in the way they've gone about this position, or this competition rather, I need to say. And as the years go by in the Gauteng Future Champs, this the 9th, the showings from a South African point of view continue to improve, and nice to say, not only from a South African point of view, but an African point of view all around. Let's have a look at Sundowns and how they will line up. They will have Tapelo Pito, or Tetlocho Pito in the attacking areas. He's one worth keeping an eye on, as is Ntuli with a 14 on his back. Exciting young man who can play in the central areas as well as out wide in the creative midfield department. Glenn Baijis will look to be well protected. From a Bidvest Wits point of view, Rowan Human, wearing the number 6 jersey, is certainly worth keeping an eye on in midfield. He's been terribly impressive. As well, Ethan Andrews, as well as the likes of Fanny Mufeking in the attacking third of the field in the creative and finishing departments. Well, happy to announce that I'm joined by Mo here in commentary, and Mo, they are sides that, of course, would be terribly disappointed not to have reached the final. So much was expected of them from a South African point of view, but they have entertained these two sides in a game that will be officiated by Abraham Mashala, the 20-born 22-year-old, the referee hailing from the same place as you're from, in the way of the nation's capital. But the nation's capital also represented by Mamelodi Sundowns. Bidvest Wits certainly doing Johannesburg proud in the way of Gauteng sides, and the two cities separated.
This is the final before the actual final, actually. If you look at Bidvest Wits, they were hoping that they would be playing the finals against the NPFL, but unlucky for them, Atletico Madrid managed to beat them with a huge margin. And Mamelodi Sundowns, they've been very competitive, very dominating, but it was just not their day yesterday when they were supposed to make the finals. NPFL was better than them as compared to them being better than NPFL. So we have a semi-final, a third and fourth place, Mamelodi Sundowns versus Bidvest Wits. It's a good game, an interesting game as well, because now remember, the MTC team, Mamelodi Sundowns, won the multi-choice Diski Challenge International. These boys are looking into elevating themselves from the under-17 going to the under-19, and also being part of the MTC team. So it's a very good structure for both teams, actually. Both players are about to play for the pride and dignity of each team that they are representing, and I'm looking forward to a very good, strong, and a very strong game.
Dylan Shepherd on one side got to the finals, of course, last year with Bidvest Wits. POS Kosana, from a Mamelodi Sundowns point of view, of course, has seen his side dish out an exciting brand of football, and Well, for Dylan Shepherd, he's enjoying this tournament. Last year, he signed with a surprise package. There was a lot expected of Bidvest Wits again this year, with a few youngsters coming through from that group last year. You remember Tutiro in the tournament last year, top goal scorer, unbelievable finisher for a young man his age. He's one that's, of course, in the reserves of the NDC team. We're looking forward to seeing him in the future. Tell you what, there's a good few we're looking for from this group as well that are worth keeping an eye on. I've already touched on Human, wearing the number 6 jersey. He is superhuman at times with the displays he's put out there. For Mamelodi Sundowns, well, we've seen it from the senior teams in that little drill they do, either at the start of a half, coming out of the halftime break, or at the start of a game in the senior side. The youth side, not to be left out, following suit in that regard. And, well, the one thing that is a bit different today from what we saw yesterday, Mo, the weather conditions. It's much hotter today. Yes, we started a whole lot earlier today, but for those playing around about now, just before midday, going on to midday, 1 o'clock in the final, the surface will be hot. Those boots will begin to burn into the second half.
It's going to be very hot. Yesterday it was very cloudy, so the sun only came out late in the afternoon, so it was teams were able to play very quick and were able to adjust to the weather. But today the sun came out as early as 8 a.m. in the morning, so teams are definitely going to face a bit of a difficulty in terms of them sustaining the weather and sustaining the game.
So the match referee in Abram Mashala gets it all underway here, assisted by Hedvin Klantler on the near side. On the far side, Siabonga Masimola will be the man doing duty. Fourth official, Tata Mofokeng from Johannesburg, the 25-year-olds. Mentioned Masimola, he's a 19-year-old referee. Hedvin Klantler, a 20-year-old referee. Young referees here, the main referee for this game is at 22 years of age. So the referee and his assistants, no older than 22. Nice to see in the development of the officials as well as the players in the all-round South African game here.
Well, it's a good grooming stage and a good platform for them to actually take such center stage to just try and develop themselves as young referees. As they grow, we would normally remember them that they started with the future champs, so it will be easy for them to blend in and join the other senior referees that are already officiating the PSL games.
Well, don't skip out the MDC before we get to PSL as a further grooming platform, if you will. Sundowns with the set piece on this near side. Now, this is a game we certainly have been looking forward to ahead of the final. As you pointed out, Mo, is the final before the final. This Sundowns great at the ball at their feet. At times, as individuals, they do really stand out when the going gets tough from a team point of view. Bidvest Wits not afraid to get stuck in. In fact, in a surprise result, they had the beating of Spartak Moscow. I say surprise because that Spartak Moscow team certainly is a good outfit. And, well, they may have been seen as slight favorites going into the game by some against Bidvest Wits. Wits had the surprise package for them in the way of the win. Now, good movement on this near side, and it's Bidvest Wits getting on that front foot. Mailula. But he has numbers in that box and angled it in towards that near post. There was a man attacking that near post. Unfortunate that it didn't work out, but nice to see the cross going in where the run was being directed and the only target to aim for. Nice pace to this game in the early stages from a Sundowns and Bidvest Wits point of view. This scored the highest number of goals in one match in a game this year, did Bidvest Wits. 30. Yes, 30 in an hour. Keep in mind the games are an hour long. That was against the School of India. When Moscow had done it, Spartak Moscow at 25, we thought easily the highest scoring game of the tournament. Upstep Wits a day later, and they absolutely buried the School of India, scoring 30. Just to show you the difference, Spartak Moscow had scored 7 at the end of the first half, which was half an hour long. Bidvest Wits in their match against the School of India had scored 11.
Well, it was raining goals that day. The 2 days, School of India had already considered 35 goals in 2 days.
Certainly was raining goals. Another side from Gauteng, Lord, the Orlando Pirates, didn't find the going as good as these two sides did in representing Johannesburg. Of course, in our early coverage of the day, we showed you another side representing Tshwane of Pretoria in attacks in action against former champions in Torino, who gave them a 5-0 lashing and starting off the day on a positive goal-scoring note. Now, that's a good run on that far side. The angle of the pass, though, not complementing the movement of Andrews. Msani. Pito is a man who is wearing the 9 on his back. He has played as the out-and-out striker at times. Have also used him out wide, and today starts out wide on the right. There's the Mamelodi Sundowns number 9, making way in the central areas for Ntuli, who can also play out wide as a winger or in a central midfield position. So a good number of them can be shuffled into various positions from a Sundowns point of view.
Well, they shuffle them and they come up to the party. You saw Ntuli started from the right, from the left-hand side, and then they moved him high up front there, and it did not disappoint. He came to the party, he played his part, he ran them down when he got to the side. When he played striker, he also stayed there just as the main man.
Now, Bidvest Wits with the width, and the early ball in towards the near post, and well, attacking it vibrantly enough then off the ball from Kunyendi. No joy in the end for the former finalists. Kaba with the throw-in. Of course, both these sides showing real pedigree, and it's worth noting that here they are, the best represented South African sides from a Gauteng point of view in having qualified for this tournament against other Gauteng sides, and the most impressive once the tournament got underway from Monday. And when you look at their senior sides, Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, the defending league champions, but it's worth noting both these sides are in the running for the league championship at senior level as well. So they're at the top of the pile in the senior game. They're at the top of the pile in the Gauteng game as well from a youth development point of view.
It clearly rubs down to the youth.
Certainly does. Now, Human looked a heavy first touch, but he's followed that up with some really nice touches and steadying it all for Bidvest Wits. Well, neither side has broken each other down to a point where we've had a chance at goal just yet. Horn picking up the pieces.
They seem to know each other quite very well. They don't want to break or surprise them or give them what they are known for. They seem to just start wanting to have that combination play. Mamelodi Sundowns is starting with the combination play. Bidvest Wits is also starting with their combination play. So you're not really sure who's going to go to who at first, but it looks like Bidvest Wits want to get the ball to their front man and see how best they can do it the second post.
Keegan Allen. Yes. Ngozi for Sundowns with the run looking to burst through straight down the middle. In the end, it rolled for the keeper. Not the best of distribution. Straight to Ntuli. Found the going tough in maneuvering away around Mpho Matebola. Again, it's a nice pace. They are going at it in these early stages, as Msani's pass is away with one, and in fact, the challenge from behind on Spamandla Ntuli.
Well, Ntuli seems to be just collecting the balls very deep, not staying with the centre backs of Bidvest Wits. So that's another thing that they need to look into. The more the balls are not getting to Ntuli, that's when he's most likely going to drift into the middle of the park to try and go collect the ball.
Good closing down, good pressure from Pito, and well handled in keeping the cool here from a Bidvest point of view. Sofala, Ravaldo with the turn and movement infield. They really are gifted with the ball at their feet, both these sides here. Technically, they aren't troubled by the pressure being applied by the opposition players. They protect it well, they're confident with the ball at their feet. Options as well for the man on the ball. Barring the days when they suffered their losses, their defenses hadn't been breached all too often. They seemed solid. Then came the losses they suffered in finding themselves battling for third spot here, and it's Sundowns with lovely skill by Nduli. Oh, brings out that goods in the saved in from Mzwandile Matonzela. Man, that near post impressively.
Well, the keeper was right on time covering the first pole, and Nduli closed it very well with his right foot, but his left foot was a little bit weaker. He directed it to the keeper as compared to him taking it wider.
Nice touches from Malik Mashinini. The option out wide on the near side is Taba. Down the line, Kunyendi has already been involved quite heavily in these early stages. Nduli comfortable playing with his back to goal. He's very different from Pito in that regard. When Pito's playing the number 9 position, he likes to hang on the shoulder of the last defender and make the runs in behind that back four.
Always pulling those blind runs very well.
Good hard running from the right back. Battle between the right back and the left back. Then the ball well protected. Dylan Shepherd outside of your picture, applauding the efforts then in protecting the ball and securing the corner.
That's the only thing you need to do. When you don't have so much options, try and force a corner than a throw in, because a corner is it's a ball that will be kicked. A throw in sometimes does not reach the 18 yard, so they rather get a corner.
Human. Disappointing corner in the end. Didn't reach the 18 yard area. Pace on this near side, plenty of it. And what a response defensively then. Keenan Phillips. Human turned into trouble. Again, you can see the closing down right from the front. They are rushing each other. Not too much time for the man on the ball here, with both these sides looking to have a go. Talking about having a go, I was very impressed with the fearlessness of this Bidvest side against Spartak Moscow in a game where they looked as though they'd be physically dominated by the Russian lads. They are so big, the Russian lads, collectively maybe the biggest group that is present at this year's tournament. Or a close competition between themselves and Torino at the very least, but I do believe the Russians do edge out the Italians. There was a time when in that match things threatened to boil over in the way of temperament, and it looked as though they were being bullied, but they stood their ground well, even in the points that you'd like to see sometimes. I'm not saying we want to see argy-bargy between players, but you certainly don't want to see star players allowing themselves to be bullied and, well, scared off of the game, if you know what I mean.
They simplified their game by keeping the ball on the ground, letting the ball run, because the strength that they had did not allow them to compete in the air. They'd rather run the ball down. That's how they survived.
No separating Bidvest Wits and Mamelodi Sundowns in these early stages. Yes, Human. Difficult to find the beating of one another. Nduli, very comfortable with the ball in his feet, has the movement, also is the one with the eye for the pass. Good movement from Mailula on this near side. Got the angle. Missed by some distance in the end.
Well, I don't know what he was doing there. He had Nduli open for him. He could have laid it for Nduli, and Nduli could have taken a shot to the keeper. Just force a save from the keeper. You know your right foot is not that strong, so just try and find your nearest teammate. They have numbers high up front. That's all he needed to do. Head up, look for your teammates, lay it for them to take a shot.
Well, Sundowns, the only chance, or the only side to have created chances thus far in the match. Nice turnout for this match, as you can see out in that top part of your screen. The brass band was up and running up until a few moments ago. Do believe they've taken their break, waiting for their side to maybe inspire them into song. And for those of you that aren't familiar, when I say their side, I mean Bidvest Wits, same brass band you see at PSL games out at the Bidvest Stadium. Good ball out to that far side. The overlapping movement from Horn. He's got men getting into that box, 3 in total. The ball in then, looking for the man in the captain's armband in Fani Mufugeng. This is an interesting story. He was part of the group that got to the final last year. He looked incredibly small, and though he was too young for this group last year, he's wearing the captain's armband this year and still looking one that could be dominated in the way of size, but he can play with the ball at his feet as the man wearing the number 10 jersey for Bidvest Wits.
And he's been coming in as a sub in these games this year.
He's grown somewhat from last year as well, physically. They certainly do show a confidence in him. Dylan Shepherd doing so for 2 years in a row now. Mentioned there's a part of this Bidvest group, or that from last year, that's moved on to the MDC version of their growth. Speaking of MDC, Mamelodi Sundowns, the current MDC champions that have had success, Mo, you were saying, out in Holland in their recent trip.
Yep.
Well, good movement, good defending. Pressure still on. Here's the opening. Oh, their first chance at goal, disappointing at the lack of a connection.
There was no rush for Andrews right there. He could have just trapped the ball and picked a spot, but he decided to volley it. Unlucky for him, it took a bounce while he was volleying, so it was easy for the keeper, Glenn Bartries, to actually just grab on it.
You were telling us of the success of Sundowns out in Holland.
Well, they flying back tonight. They should be landing tomorrow with their multi-choice disc challenge champion trophy international. They won in the
And Grant Bissett.
And our colleague Mr. Grant Bissett, who was having fun right there, taking a lot of pictures you could see on the social network. But it was good experience for him.
Yeah.
From a journalist point of view, he learned quite a lot, which his show is going to share with us. Maybe he's going to bring us some nice gifts, you know.
I seriously doubt it. Knowing Grant. Looking forward to seeing him back, though. Spending time and hearing those stories. Grant, us gifts? Nah. It's too many of us.
You never know. Could be Porter's mics.
Yeah, oh, hey, let's hope so. Well, we'll tell him all the stories of all the football he missed here at the Gauteng Future Champs, as Bidvest Wits are forced to go back. Beatles applying pressure. Again, they are playing it at a nice pace, both these sides, as we've just gone beyond the midway point of the first half.
We will only see a different game if one team was to score a goal. Right now, they reach the final third, but the decision making when they get to the final third is very poor so far. They have not tested each other. The keepers have not felt any challenge. They're just collecting balls.
Yeah, a lot of huffing and puffing, but no blowing down of the proverbial wall. Nice little shuffle. Andrews out on that far side, shook up a couple. Kunyendi. Again, the right back's gotten forward into a beautiful position. Then it's just gone over the head of Fani Mufugeng. Then his height working as a disadvantage, but he attacked that near post quite impressively. And that ball once again was angled in towards that movement on that near post. Nicely done. Nicely involved is the right back. This time looking to make his own luck is Ntokozo Klaba.
If only he had a left foot, it would have been better. These players are just lacking that second leg that they have, you know, when it comes to taking shots. Not a bad one. He pushed it forward. He took his chance. Just try and force a keeper to pull a save or to do something. It is unlucky for him it went wide, but a good decision for him to just push the ball. But the only mistake that he had in mind was not using his left foot.
That's a couple of attempts at goal now from a Bidvest point of view, same as Mamelodi Sundowns, approaching the last 10 of this first half. Keep in mind, later on, we will bring you the final of this year's Gauteng Future Champs as Bidvest Wits turn, and, well, they had the opening, couldn't quite exploit it, then having won the ball back high up the field. Dooley's now moved over out wide to the right side with Pito in a central area, and there's a difference between the two. On the shoulder of the last defender, looking to break through is Pito, as one expects.
Look, they've got Allen there as a centre back. He is very strong. Pito is going to face a lot of challenges should he want to take Allen one-on-one. He's a very pacey centre back as well, so Pito's not going to be easy for him to run him down. So all he needs to do, he just needs to do off the ball runs, blind runs, then to sell Allen some side that he may not commit to.
Some nice touches coming out of Ethan Andrews on that far side. Big man, and well, at times one is fooled into thinking big men don't quite have the balance and the technical ability, and they're there just to hit the ball and maybe underestimating them. Tell you what, he's really got some seriously nice touches on the ball. Very tricky. So later on, Atletico Madrid, who are looking to make it 2 in a row in future champions wins, up against the all-star team from Nigeria. They picked the best youngsters from all of the top flight teams in the Nigerian Premier Football League. But the young men from Nigeria, led by Augustine Aguavon. Many of you will be familiar with that name, and a man who's been there, done that before from a Nigerian point of view in the way of officiating. What's interesting is his story that he wasn't familiar with some of his players 2 weeks ago. They've had to learn each other quickly as a group, and my oh my, what lovely football they're dishing out the young men from Nigeria. They really are playing some impressive football and have impressively gone about handing out defeats day after day in this tournament.
Well, the coach may have had like 2 weeks for him to assemble the team together, to get to know the players. It has not affected them negatively. They came together. They are a united team. They know what they've traveled here for. They're not here to just end numbers in the tournament. They're here to play. These players are from different teams in Nigeria, but the teamwork that they've put in, they can make a squad.
Confident touches defensively here. Thought he might have overdone it for just a moment, but he's nice with the ball at his feet and well, had no problems in keeping it idling along then to Keegan Allen. Horn. Andrews. Human. Had a bad attempt to pick out the teammate on this near side from Human. Didn't think twice, just lashed it out towards this near side.
Well, I think the plan is actually just to drive the ball.
Torino in your picture, the Italians in action earlier on today. Started off on a winning note. And of course, Atletico Madrid, the defending champions that have made the final once again. And well, if you're impressed with them last year, you'll be impressed with them once again this year. Dishing out some lovely football. They can mix it up between the physical and the skillful stuff. They also have shown a hunger to fight in the games they've been involved in and protect their keeper well defensively. They're amongst the best in this tournament, if not the outright best. Nduli. Now, there's the opening. Flag's gone up against Pito.
Normally, Pito and Tuli, they know how to break the offside, but this time around, they were just standing right there in front of the defense, and it was just too late for them to run down to the keeper.
Keep in mind, we did mention the all-star team and mention the 2-week period they've spent together in preparation, or maybe just over a week for this tournament. The reason for that is when you look at the Sundowns team, they would have been together for a good number of years. The same for the Bidvest team. In the way of, let's say, a Torino, some of them been together for a good number of years since they were 6. The Spartak Moscow kids, considering they play for one club, so they've been going through the age groups together. That Nigerian all-star team was put together from the different teams in Nigeria. That's what makes their story extra special.
But the Nigerian All-Stars has players that play in the national team, about 6 of them.
Yeah.
So that's why it makes it a very interesting one. That's why they managed to blend in together, because about 6 or 8 players already in the national team, they've played together before. They know what they were putting together.
And also, when you find the development structures are right, including this two groups of lads here, you'll find they play against each other for years as they go through the age groups. They'll know each other well, and well, you get to a point where even across the world they know each other well in different countries through the age groups. For instance, Jabu Mahlangu Pule played against Ronaldinho on 2 occasions as a youngster before once as a group of youngsters, of course, with the Brazil under-20 team, I think against a select group of under-20 youngsters from South Africa, then at the Olympic Games. So they knew each other already, or had at least faced each other already in a practice match. Now, good movement, byline. Ooh, that's a good challenge. He had to get that right, was on the money with it.
Very dangerous place, but he was smart about it. He went for the ball and left the person that had the ball. That's a very good, clean challenge.
Also a strong challenge followed up by Keegan Allen on Dooley, then legal one, but his strength was the dominating factor when those two came together on this near side just a few moments ago.
Look at how he went for it, for the ball, and the player followed after. So it's a very clean one. He won the ball fairly so. You can't contest and not a penalty there.
They didn't even appeal for it.
They couldn't.
The Bidvest ladies, or guys, young men.
They couldn't.
Pizzo.
Pito is having a quiet one today as compared to him, always running them down, forcing them into the box. Maybe it's the strength that is high up front there for in the defense of the Bidvest Wits team.
3-on-3 here. Mistake by Mamelodi Sundowns, and it's Bidvest Wits looking to capitalize. That passes forced Nguyendi wide, and in keeping it in play, had to show a bit too much to the defender. Safety first.
That's the only thing you need to do. He's just won the ball and he's trying to prepare for it. Just take it out.
Talent on either bench here. Of course, for Mamelodi Sundowns, a promising youngster is Promise Nkuma. He looks on the money. We've seen him play in a good number of games already this weekend. My oh my, that's a name worth remembering. Promise Nkuma, amongst the many youngsters that have stood out this week, especially from a South African point of view. He's something else, and there's so many high-quality youngsters, such as Allen here from a defensive point of view. We mentioned Human, we mentioned Dooley, we mentioned Pete, so we can keep going. And, well, Nkuma is amongst that group that we are looking forward to seeing years down the line.
True that. Right now they are missing Nkuma in the middle of the park. He's the only person that holds the ball and takes them on and force them into the extra half. That's when you see Ntule and Pito very effective running down, and Nkuma can distribute the balls at any given time.
Nice first touch. Still going. Good skill. As Malula plays it back into the danger area. Nothing going though from a Sundowns point of view. It was nicely done in causing trouble and mayhem in there. Just needed a killer blow to finish off the damage already done.
A good one by Cassius Malula. He was just unlucky when he laid it for Pito. Pito was in doubt that the ball was actually going to come to him, and Tuli also skipped it for him so that Pito could actually take that shot, but he was very late when it got to that.
Go on, nice run this. Oh, and couldn't offload to the runners, and in the end tries to bend one home with that left foot and nothing coming of it. Some bright moments here in the late stages of this first half.
That's where he minuses them very well and heads up, and then he whips it in nice with the left, and Tuli was already nowhere for the ball, but Pito was late. He could have followed up with the run. He could have reached that ball and just hit it to the back of the net.
Last few moments, or minutes rather, of this first half. Cancelling each other out, or both these sides. Good quality on offer though.
Very good quality.
Yeah.
The weather is nice and chilled now. They can play.
Cloud cover, whole lot of clouds. They've well, just come above the Nike Center, right above us. There were no clouds to speak of when this game got underway some 30 minutes ago. But they are now lurking right above us. They're looking somewhat grey. Remember, at the start of the day, Amanda pointed out that well, we are usually blessed with rain during this Gauteng Future Champs, and I was thinking to myself, we've hardly had any. Well, looks like her early morning rain dance has paid off. Set piece in a good area.
We haven't seen much of set pieces for Bidvest Wits in the Sundowns half. They need to convert maybe this chance and then start playing the game, because the game will only be open once they've scored a goal.
Now, Allen has come short for the set piece, you think, with his strength and decent height. They'd want him in there amongst those looking to get onto the end of one of these balls, but well, the expectation is for he to have a whack here. Hasn't quite hit it in a convincing fashion. I think it would have been more useful inside that box, looking to win it in the air.
They were very indecisive. They needed to drive the ball into the box as compared to Allen taking a direct shot to the keeper.
Good play, man. Good play on that far side. Not only from the advancing Bidvest Wits, but from a defensive point of view. From Ravaldo Sofala, he blocked that ball out for the throw-in, and the overlapping run from Horn meant Horn actually made contact with him at pace with his upper body. He took it like a king, moved on, didn't wince. End of a first half where both these sides have cancelled each other out, and well, Bidvest Wits and Sundowns have huffed and puffed. Good quality on a display, but not much in the way of clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities, and neither goalkeeper has been all too tested so far. Half opportunities here and there. They'll both look for an improvement in the second half, but well, it's captivating enough, and the weather conditions are changing. Wondering if the weather will be more of a factor going into the second half. It's Mamelodi Sundowns 0, Bidvest Wits 0 in the third and fourth playoff.
30 is done and dusted between the South African sides, battling for a third place finish. Now, as Sizwe has said, there hasn't been a lot of clear-cut chances in as far as their attempts at goal, but hopefully the familiarity will shake off, and these particular players will come, will shoot rather from all cylinders in this particular half. Well, a couple of changes made by the respective sides, so that might just come in handy. Although with Wits, it's more of those forced changes with the 2 injuries as well as a suspension. Well, do stay tuned on your World of Champions. Future Champions Gauteng returns after the break.
No goals in the third place playoff between Mamelodi Sundowns and Bidvest Wits, but it has been a captivating enough game with both these sides showing quality, but well, it's a defender's game up to this point. Sundowns with the early movement out on that far side, and well, the angle was created, the shot from Dooley then finding the keeper position perfectly in Mzwalile Mtonsela's protecting off that near post, and that's the best chance of that first half. But the Wits were to have moments of their own. Early ball in here, kept alive on this near side, but in the end a rush of blood to the head when there were options other than the, well, immediate shot. Then could have even steadied it and taken on the defender, since he wasn't a one-on-one situation. Those were the few highlights in what I mentioned earlier was a defender's half. Goal attempts mean it's, well, Bidvest Wits that have had more and just one more shot on target than Mamelodi Sundowns. Very little separating these two sides, barring ball possession, which is in favor of Bidvest Wits, who've had more total attacks, but still not very much on target.
Goals as yet to show for the first half between Mamelodi Sundowns as well as Bidvest Wits. Now we know that this competition is not just about the players, but it's about the coaches and the referees. And I'm joined now by Ben Khatwayo, who is SAFA referee instructor. Ben, please give us your thoughts around the officiating of this year's future champions.
So far, no problem has been counted, and I've seen the referees have improved very, very high in this year. I hope they will finish this tournament in a high note.
Now, you touch on the standard of refereeing. Let's just revert back to the past couple of seasons. How have you seen that improvement go about from the first tournament up until this one?
Thank you. I've seen there was a lot of improvement because most of the referees who come from this tournament are now in the national panel. I can count few, Stephen Kumalo, Bafana Msia, I would count few, but most of them are there. This is the highlight of those referees who are there to go up again.
So it clearly doesn't end here. Well, in as far as, South Africa is concerned, as a whole, how far are we in terms of officiating?
Well, I think it's good, but I think we must go back to the basics to develop the referees at an early age, and then after that we'll be in top of the range.
All right, Ben, thank you so much for your time, and do enjoy the final.
Thanks very much, ma.
Ben Khatwayo, who is SAFA referee instructor, just touching on the standard of South African refereeing, and of course looking at this particular tournament that has produced a number of top referees in the country. Well, do stay tuned on your World of Champions. The second half of Mamelodi Sundowns taking on Bidvest Wits continues after this.
30 more minutes for Mamelodi Sundowns and Bidvest Wits to battle it out for third spot in the 2017 Gauteng Future Champions Tournament. And it's Sundowns that will get the second half underway. The supporters that have turned out have patiently waited for a goal. We've had goals in every game we've had so far this morning in what we've brought to you live. And keep in mind, the second last game will be broadcasting. The last will be the final, of course, between Atletico Madrid and the NPFL All-Stars. Sundowns man has taken a hit out on that far side. His teammates will play on since he won't be in need of any medical attention. So play continues. Yeah, we saw a lively first half. They played it at a nice pace, both these sides, and quality shown, but the inability to break each other down or stubbornness defensively was the overriding factor. Kize on from Ngosi in the changes that have taken place for Mamelodi Sundowns. And Likanyile is another that's entered the fray here with Makwele having made way. Remember the first day of the tournament, I very nearly read Makwele as Maxwell. Took a while before I noticed my mistake. Fortunately, I didn't say it out loud on air until now. Now, on the near side, Mamelodi Sundowns do have Taban Kekana with the 6 on his back. They are impressively able to keep it moving with Mashinini, running into trouble from a Bidvest point of view. All central from both these sides, very little width for the time being, that is. Human is the man looking for width on that far side and unable to connect with the teammate. That's the challenge on Sianda Msani. Touched out by Soli Kunyendi. Those two have been involved in some interesting battles from that first half, where Kunyendi was looking to have a good go at Msani. Stood his ground stubbornly, did the defender. Pito. Dekana with the early ball forward. Good pressure applied by Sundowns as they pick up the pieces. Again, the defending good enough to ensure the shot is blocked and a lot of the power has been taken off of it. Seen a lot of that where the defenders have popped up at the right time, at the right place, when it looks as though it could be a telling attacking moment. Now, Duli. Strength from Horn. Pito. Again, another important defensive touch, rounded up by the keeper collecting comfortably.
Or Bidvest Wits defense are closing them down early, but they need to avoid those sloppy sticking in of foot, because it might become a penalty or a place kick in the final third.
Good movement on that far side after having won it back high up the field, and looking for goal in the end with teammates. He had 3 options inside the box then and saw the headlines.
A very good ball from Mufukeng, but he just needed to drifted in because the runs were delayed and the defense of Mamelodi Sundowns had already committed going towards the keeper. Communication right there was a bit of a challenge. That's why they couldn't convert that chance.
Actually, having looked at it again on the slow-mo, looked as though he was trying to cut it back, just couldn't wrap his foot around it in his defense. I speak for, in that case, Soli Kunyendi. Likanyile with the 10 on his back, amongst the many Sundowns players that are nice on the ball and just gifted technically. There's another, Pito. With the outside of the boot, he's released a teammate. Here's a chance, great chance! Oh, it's come off the frame of the goal, then terribly unlucky for Mailula. Cassius not quite having the clay-type knockout blow to put Mamelodi Sundowns into the lead.
Beautiful run. He gets his head up. He decides to take it far. Good decision. The keeper had already committed to the first pole, but now the upright.
First time we've seen a defense breached in that sort of fashion where the opportunity of at goal is that clear cut. Pito with the
Yes.
movement in the central areas and the vision in the ball out wide.
Well, he's got good moves, always selling them blind runs, and they commit to them. The defense, that
Those are the youngsters that were in action earlier, I do believe. Torino, is it?
Torino, they can feel the heat now.
yeah,
See, taking their tops off.
They've just come back out of a cold European winter. It's worth keeping in mind. Out in Italy, the winters bite.
Okay, there's a take. 15 for 11. It's standing by, it's not happening.
Sundowns creating the moments here in the second half. Really impressed with the strength of Keegan Allen defensively for Bidvest Wits. He's another worth keeping an eye on for the future. So is the captain. Nice touch. Nicely done, in the ball across then, and couldn't find the teammate, but it was positive from Kunyendi. Here he is again. Looking to Mashinini. Now space to attack. 3-on-3 situation here for Mamelodi Sundowns. Here's Allen on the money. That's quality defending. So strong, so assured. Once he decided to commit, he had to win it, and that's exactly what he did.
The only thing he wants is the ball. The moment he commits, he makes contact with the ball, and he's always up in his feet trying to defend, and as early as possible, not even close to the 18 yards.
Horn. Bit of a bounce in front of the keeper. Did well to get his body behind it, as they say in cricket.
Ask questions. He may have hurt himself right there.
Also impressed with Horn in a left back who looks to get forward and take pot shots at goal.
Those are good shots direct at goal. That's what they want. And the second ball, we saw the follow-up from Mukala that should the keeper spill it, he's right there to just pick up the pieces and just put them into the back of the net.
Bidvest Wits are going through changes. Making way is Soli Kunyendi, who's had a good showing here this afternoon. Morning turned into afternoon during the running of this match. And on in his place, Leo Matt. Saw him warming up during the halftime period. Matt will occupy the position out on that far side. Problems here for Glenn Baji's.
Well taken shot direct to the keeper, but now the keeper, he lost his balance and he affected his injured knee already. So you can see that the footing, when the ball bounced, he could not balance properly. So I don't think he's going to come back into this game. They might as well have to make a sub.
Even if he was willing to come back, I don't think they'll want to take chances, considering the tournament is done and dusted. And well, you can see the seriousness of it with how he was avoiding putting weight on that knee once he felt the pain. So we're hoping it's not too serious for Glenn Baikis. We're hoping to see him again in action in the very near future. In the meantime, all he's saying, Mputi is the man that'll come on in his place. But for Glenn Baikis, it's always horrible to see an injury, especially a knee injury. And when a player's body language is in the fashion that we're seeing from him, it usually suggests a serious injury. And it's never nice to see a young man suffer a serious long-term injury. And we're hoping it's not that. We're hoping it's not long-term. He's a young man who really has impressed us during the running of this week.
He's done exceptionally well. Credit must be given to him. He's been a very great keeper for Mamelodi Sundowns, and lucky they just had to lose him now. But again, it's a chance for the other keeper to actually express his play as well. But then he did quite very well.
Now, we mentioned the referees getting a bit of a workout. We mentioned the players in the way of development. What we didn't touch on was the medical department. They, of course, will look to protect him in a similar fashion as you do see in the professional outfits, Mo. Professionally done then, with protecting of the neck as well, as you can see.
Definitely, it's a very good protection of the neck, the full structure of the player. That's why the paramedics are there. They don't want him to roll over or maybe look onto the side for him to fall. He might even fall off the bed. So it's a very good one for them. We hope that the incoming keeper will give us a good challenge. Seemingly the game is still a draw. We might head to penalties. At least it's still early for him to just warm up and keep warm. Should the game go to penalties, he stands a very good chance. He had warmed up very well. He had enough time in the game, so he got the feel. And when it goes to the penalties, he'll definitely rise above the occasion.
Horn ripping up this near side. He's got a option in field. Lovely skill on the turn. Oh, deserves so much more. Beautifully done by Leo Maris. Unlucky not to have brought it home then, but it was beautiful from Bidvest Wits.
Beautiful turn. He sold him a dream. He went to the side. But now, the execution when he had to take the shot towards goal. He knew where he was, but then he curled it too much, or he laced it right there and it went to the side. But it's a beautiful one. He could have turned and just pushed it a little bit and pick a spot. But a beautiful one from Leo Met. His first touch, by the way.
Yeah, since coming on as a sub, we've seen one lovely opportunity for Sundowns here in the second half. One glorious opportunity for Bidvest Wits. Still the scoreline at 0-0. No denying the quality that's on display here.
Let's give Horn credit. He's been spotting his fellow teammates. He's been taking shots at the keeper. He's been an individual brilliance, 100%. Team player, 100%.
Really is impressive, Horn. What he does defensively, what he does on the opposite side of the field on the attack. Great football brain, but also coming up with key moments on the attack as often as he does is impressive for a left back. I mean, the very best in the world do it at that consistent rate. And well, speaking of the best in the world, South Africa will be rather proud of the way things have gone in the development of players of late. You remember the under-17s at the World Cup, the under-20s going to the World Cup. Again, Glenn Baikies is the man that's injured from a Sundowns point of view. We are hoping it's not too serious. When you look at the quality that's on display, the wins against sides like Torino, Spartak Moscow, very good size. For one, the Spartak Moscow side is wow. And they got beaten by Bidvest Wits fair and square, no doubt about it. And you get the feeling South Africa's on the right track in the way of development. And again, the quality is here for all to see for 17, 16 and 15-year-olds.
They're on the right track. I can tell you South Africa is on a proper track. Teams that they are playing against. Look at the game that the Mamelodi Sundowns had played against Atletico Madrid. The expectations, how Mamelodi Sundowns came to the party, they stood the ground, they played a draw. A fair game. So from the early age, expose them to these challenges, to these teams.
Get the feeling these international tournaments are very helpful. For one, this is the 9th year of the Gauteng Future Champs. We've got the under-17 championships, where we had Sanchez, who's now at Bayern Munich, down in Durban a couple of years ago. Zelalem of Arsenal, a youngster whom, if you aren't familiar with the name, he's been playing out in Scotland, I believe it is, on loan last season, and he's one where great things are expected out of, and the list is endless. They just keep coming here at a very young age, and every time a name pops up in Europe or you read in the headlines, you get the feeling our lads are rubbing shoulders with the very best at their age group as early as possible, which is evident now in the under-17s going to the World Cup and the 20s going to the World Cup. Now, good movements, good skill. Pizzo amongst those arriving had to take a touch backwards in order to find the space, but then was quickly closed down by Mashinini. Human. Nicely done. Leo Mert. Powerful runner is Mert.
Beautiful run from Leo Met. But the final touch and the final third, he just couldn't just play the ball. Andrews, he had all the time he needed to take that shot. He could have played a combination play, try and find his fellow teammate and get that goal.
Here's another strong defender. We've mentioned all these attributes. We haven't touched on the strength yet from Horn. For one, the central defender in Keegan Allen brings so much strength to the defensive areas, one in the central areas, one out in the left back position. strong commitment in the challenge, illegally so, from Mailula.
He thought he was going to get away with that one.
They thought they'd have the advantage, then have to get it past Horn on the near side. Again, they're getting stuck in. 15 to go. All this game needs is a goal, really, to bring it to life, to, of course, credit some of the quality that's been on display. But then again, at 0-0 is pretty fair. There's been no separating these two sides. No one has, well, dominated over the other. Straight to penalties if it stays at 0-0.
Now the heat is coming to effect. It's the last minutes of the game, last 14-15 minutes that are remaining. You will see the likes of Ntuli cannot last the 60 minutes in the game. They normally break down towards the end of the game, and the coach always makes the sub and starts with Ntuli. We hope that he can sustain this time around, because the heat was not really that much of an effect, but now it's coming out and the players are dropping a little bit and they have not scored their chances. They need to go at each other and try and get a goal and avoid going to the penalties.
We're going through Cape Town weather here today. Started off, the sun was out when the game started, then at half time we thought, hey, look, it might be raining. Now sun's out again, and I'll tell you who else is out. The finalists in the Nigerian Premier Football League All-Stars will be up against Atletico Madrid. And Mo, you say you went past the Atletico change room and they've found an interesting way of motivating themselves and getting themselves pumped up for the final.
I actually walked into that change room, I heard music, I thought maybe somebody's chilling. The players are just dancing and changing, they're just having fun. And they're playing hip-hop music. Hip-hop music.
Hip-hop music.
I thought maybe I'll listen to a motivational speech. They were playing hip-hop music.
It can be motivating. Thierry Henry, a man who's been quoted in the past saying he listens to Wu-Tang during his Arsenal days, Wu-Tang Clan with Method Man and the rest, before games. At the Africa Cup of Nations, not this last one in Gabon, but Equatorial Guinea, I happened to attend the Senegal training session before they played Bafana Bafana and beat Bafana Bafana. They came out with a boombox. It felt like the late 80s and early 90s, a huge boombox playing Tupac as they came out to train in the last evening training session before facing and beating Bafana. Song went somewhere along the lines, Mama raised a Hellraiser. And they were pumped up for the game. Came from behind to beat Bafana Bafana. But yeah, Pac inspired.
So inspiration comes from anything.
Yeah. Wherever you can find it, you grab it and run.
Tackles are going to be hard. Exhaustion is starting to kick in. It's the dying minutes of the game. Desperate goal is needed. So nobody's going to play according to their coach's instruction or the style of play that they have planned. They just want to find themselves in the final third or in the 18 area and try and convert their chances.
By the way, part 2 of Senegal, South Africa took place not too long ago. Part 3 may be coming in a repeat of part 2, if you know what I mean.
So
What's happened with the referee, the last World Cup qualifier, if you haven't heard as yet, for some reason, FIFA suspending that Cameroonian referee for life, or banning him for life. Serious foul play seemed to have been the case in that particular match. Dooley working it out wide. Early ball header! Pito with a touch, just didn't get enough meat onto that header. Good for at least a chance at goal or something on target. In the end, it wasn't all that menacing. Build-up was good.
Very good build-up. Now, exhaustion has kicked in, as I've indicated. Matebula and Allen, Horn, they've been jumping for those high balls. Right now, they can't compete for the balls in the air. They're very tired. And this pitch exhausts, it drains your calves.
Keep in mind, they've been at it every day all week, except for Thursday, the off day, where they had the cultural experience. The Nigerian lads, first team from Nigeria to make the final. Boy, oh boy, do they play some nice football. They had the beating of Mamelodi Sundowns to get to the final. They can go long, they can run with it, they can keep it central, they can go wide. They play to the coach's instruction, which has been their most impressive asset. And now he breaks it down, and that's exactly what they do. going into the match. And they are up against Atletico Madrid, the defending champions. And, well, if you've seen or remember the Atletico Madrid team from last year, this year's team, which has very few faces from last year, is looking equally as impressive, if not more. If there is a goal that is to come, it will be a winner, by the look of it, unless we have to have a flurry of goals here in the latter stages of this match. Human can't get a touch. Ntuli, he's got the movement of Pito. Again, loves to play on the shoulder of the defender. His movement of the ball, Pito. Hey.
A very good runner off the ball. He always just finds himself on the blind spot, pulling those runs. Once he breaks through, one thing you must know, he's going to run down to the keeper. They seem not to want to go to penalties. They want to end the game in the game, not in penalties.
You are seeing sides with very good development structures from a South African point of view. Pirates as well, super sport in years gone past, led here by Ricardo Kata. Many of you will remember from the triple league winning side. Beats on the far side. But Sundowns, in the way of development, have come leaps and bounds. I've mentioned this on a few occasions in the past. I have at times run into Sundowns scouts at the airport, ask them where they're going. They say they're going to an under-9 tournament in Mpumalanga, random tournament, you know, and they are covering the country far and wide in search of talent. Remember when they first discovered Pesitao some years ago? Already the stories were coming through the Sundowns ranks, and they were telling us stories about this young lad they found, Tao, and how they had to make a few trips down to Witbank, of course, in convincing the family to allow the young man to come up to Gauteng. And of course there were concerns which are warranted from a family point of view, but look at how beautifully that situation's turned out years down the line.
Exceptional player. The trips were worth everything.
What value he's added to the league, and these youngsters will hope to grow up to add further value in the overall picture of South African football. Now, the set piece! Oh, value! All-around value in a click banger that rocks the top corner.
Lukhanyile Ndlele came in as a sub. He's been trying to play those balls, short passes, short crosses. Right now, a blind run, dummy run, nicely whipped into the above the wall to the first pole, where the wall is just blocking. They had no chance of winning that ball. The keeper was far, he couldn't reach for it. Nicely whipped in, good pressure behind it, and it gave it direction. Well done to Ndlele Lukhanyile.
In off the bench, Lukhanyile lights it up, as his name suggests. And he absolutely lit up and ripped up that top corner. That was quality. It curled out and back in again. No chance for the man between the stick in Tonsela. Oh, quality, man.
Proper. Actually, this is the first.
I was going to say, we haven't seen too many of those
This
in
is
this
the
tournament.
first free kick.
Yeah.
We've been always looking for one, and we've been saying teams cannot score them. And Ndlele just ended it with a beautiful bang.
Years gone by, it's the Brazilian youngsters that have served up the quality set pieces, and they've spread out here and there between some of the European lads as well in years gone by. The best quality dead ball situation we've seen from a South African team this time around, from Lukhanyile. Oh, he lit up that top corner.
I think that free kick may have affected Tonsela.
Well,
Hamstring.
I say this respectfully to all parties concerned, but you remember the Klompokekana goal out at the Orlando Stadium, which had a similar effect on the late Senzo,
Yes.
out to the Orlando Pirates, where he conceded an absolute cannon from Klompo from the other side of Soweto. And, well, I think the injury and the cramps kicked in.
They kicked in. Both legs.
And again, mention that situation respectfully to all parties concerned. Mo, you're a former keeper.
You can't continue.
Have you conceded a goal at Kumibani where there was a system shutdown?
Any keeper has. Any keeper has.
I appreciate your honesty.
Any keeper has. I've gone through that. You don't know what to do. You just break down. The best thing to do is just fake that muscle pull. Walk it off the pitch. Because
Go home and get straight into bed midday.
it breaks your spirit. Real hard.
Well, there's a change then. And it's Choko that will be coming on here from a Bidvest Wits point of view. Comes on with his side having conceded. So Mr. Masita will hope his teammates have the goods in an equalizer. They don't have much time available to them. In the meantime, Sundowns have looked stronger and stronger, need to be said. And have held a slight advantage over the last 5 to 10, deserving of that goal. They had moments.
They've been going into the final third of Bidvest Wits, but they got that free kick and made sure that they convert their chance. Lukangile Ndlele was their hero.
Leo Mert. Mashinini took a slight hit, but Horn will keep it alive on this near side. I really like watching this young man play, Horn. In fact, I enjoy watching both these sides have a goal. All 11-11. Good quality, this. Even the goal that separates them is one that's worthy of the occasion, in separating sides that are this good quality all round.
Another thing they need to monitor as well. You know, players, as young as they are, this under 17, they love juggling teams. You might find that Horn is in the Mamelodi Sundowns next year. So offers come in early because of these tournaments.
Well, it's more and more of an investment being made into youth, and many South Africans, especially those that may not be in the know, will have the age-old argument from 15 years ago. We're not developing, and well, things are at a standstill, so to speak, or declining in our football. But for those that pay special attention and go out of their way to, well, get knowledge on the developments and the international tournaments that we've touched on, the fact that 10 years ago no clubs were having youth development sides, and now everybody's got one. We've got a reserve league now, and you can see it, as we mentioned, in the under-17s and under-20s going to a World Cup. But the days of South African football being stagnant, I really do believe are a thing of the past. No, I'd like to get your opinion on this, but you look at the quality that's on show here. You think of South African sides 4 years ago, 5 years ago at this tournament, and you can tell there's a huge improvement.
There's a very huge improvement. Look at under 17 MDC, Varsity Cup. There's so much exposed to it, and teams are taking development into serious note. And the players that we sing, the outcomes, players that are in the national team under 20, everybody has seen them play. It's not like they fetched a player from KZ and they said, you can play left back. They are all in that squad. We've seen them in MTC, we've seen them in under 17. So these tournaments actually have made teams to improve their academic structure, and I think they can do better than this.
Totally. Unable to keep it alive. I'll tell you a funny story. Before leaving home this morning, and we left home early this morning, guess what game I was watching? Sundowns against Bidvest Wits from the first round of the current season. Oh, good closing down from Pito. In fact, I beg your pardon, it was Supersport United against Bidvest Wits. Another Pretoria side that's doing very well, also in the running for the league.
Yep.
Good development structures. They had a whole host of youngsters in the under-17 side that went to the World Cup. They dominated more than half that squad, if memory serves me right. So many sides are getting it right in their development structures. Can't wait to see South African football in another 10 years or so. It's been a long wait, but well, work has been put in behind the scenes, and now it's beginning to show for everyone to take note of. Here's the opportunity. Lekanyile looking to light up the back of the net once again.
Lekanyile doesn't hold back. Anything that he gets, when he's in the box, he wants to take a shot if he doesn't find his teammate. This is his second shot at goal. Look at him right there. With his left foot again, He was looking for the far post, only to find that the ball was not pressured enough. He just hit direct to the keeper, and the keeper wanted to punch it. He did not want to risk it. He'd rather punch it.
Sundowns have really done well in the second half. There'll be 4 minutes added on to the 60th minute. They'll have a chance to extend their lead. It's Nduli around the keeper. Looks as though it's the final nail in the coffin. Made it look easy, Drill Sergeant. Too easy.
He's been running down, up and down, switching sides with Pito. He finally got the break. He ran, he broke the offside, and this is what you get. A beautiful pass towards him, and look at what he did. Combination play. 1-2, he runs very well. Nice, and then look at the keeper. Move the keeper out of the way, and then what you get. Cassius Malulek. He was there to play him the ball.
With the knockout blow in the way of the pass, then Cassius. It's Commander Nduli. Oh, he's quality.
Proper quality.
And the quality of Mamelodi Sundowns has shone through here in the latter stages of the second half. The deeper we've got into the second half, the more we've seen of Sundowns and less of Bidvest Wits. Endurance maybe playing a part in that, in which of the two sides maybe is physically better conditioned, or they've had the lesser physical demands through the week. Keep in mind playing every day, barring Thursday. Nice work on the far side. Leomert. What a recovery defensively. He's quick. Is Sianda Msani. Can't ask for a better way to spend a Saturday morning, Mo. Watching quality youngsters dish out quality football from an international scale. Can't ask for a better way to spend a Saturday morning.
And they were given quality exposure.
It's got a quality venue.
Everything rhymes with quality.
Now, of course, this is the last we'll see of South African sides in this tournament. With a minute and a half remaining, Mo, let's get your thoughts on these two sides, not just in this game, but overall.
Both teams came to this tournament prepared. They knew what they wanted. That's why you see them playing for the third and fourth place. And lucky for them that they managed to. They got to third and fourth place, but they did quite very well throughout the tournament. They were winning. Bidvest Wits came in. They were winning their games. Mamelodi Sundowns drew against Atletico Madrid. And the games have just been getting better and better. They finally get to meet each other. Mamelodi Sundowns and Bidvest Wits give us that South African taste. It's a beautiful game. It was a quality game. We know where they're coming from. There's that Mr. Salt man in the building.
Hope he's had a bioplus or something. He's struggling to stay awake through his games, that being Themba Boy. Keep in mind, he'll be keeping you in company in the final. He's promised to have gotten rid of whatever curse befell him this week. He's promising goals and entertainment in the final. 6, he says. And it's one to look forward to. And it should be an absolute pleasure listening to one of my favorite commentators, of course, in Themba Boy, in the game against Atletico and the men from Nigeria in the NPFL All-Stars. Still not sure if Themba's entirely sure if he's in the right career path between commentary and comedy. Good hard running, the opening. Oh, the defensive display. The challenge then coming in from Sofala.
Sofala nicely guiding him out of the goalpost, just forcing him out.
Mamelodi Sundowns forcing their will on Bidvest Wits in the latter stages of the second half. 2 quality goals. One from Likanyile in off the bench in the best set piece we've seen so far in this tournament. Top corner, curling out and then back in And Ntuli feeding off of the lovely pass from Cassius, knockout blow, Mailula, who made it look easy with that through ball. And Sundowns will end this tournament strongly. For Bidvest Wits, an anticlimax maybe somewhat, but they still will hold their heads up high. It was a high-quality game, this, and a good advert for South African development. I think it's safe to say, in what lies ahead in the future, the former finalists, the finalists from last year, well, will grab 4th place in Bidvest Wits. Mamelodi Sundowns snatch up 3rd place, the best of the South African sides, true quality. And they'll be back next year to try and, well, slug it out with the world's best. It's Mamelodi Sundowns 2, Bidvest Wits, no, Ntuli and Dikanyile, lighting things up. Made us wait for the goals, Mo. Well worth it in the end.
It was worth the wait. We were just waiting for Lukanyile and Ndlele to break the ice. You know, take that beautiful free kick. The keeper could not reach for it. After that, he pulled a muscle. I can tell you.
Yeah, that was curtains for the keeper. They had to immediately bring in the change then, but wow, what quality. The set piece of the tournament. The through ball is top notch. Ntuli, well, one-on-one with the keeper, no problems in getting around him and bringing it home then at the final nail in the coffin. And that's Mamelodi Sundowns at their high-flying best.
Cassius picked him up very well and he poked the ball for him. He made that run off the ball and then he just beat the keeper and then it's just converted. A very beautiful run from him. Nice one, Ntuli. He wraps up the tournament with a goal again.
Well, as we look through the stats, keep in mind the final coming up between Atletico Madrid and the NPFL All-Stars. Mo, who's on that lucky Dube I'm a slave tip today, will be in action later on with Temba Boy. As we go through the numbers, it's Sundowns who've attacked less but found the penetration. Mo and Temba, good luck for later, gents.
It ends 2-0 in favour of Mamelodi Sundowns in this all-South African encounter. Now, we did see that it was a bit of a challenge for these teams to find the back of the net, but come the second half, it was Masandawana who came out on top. I'm joined now by the coach of the team, Coach Bidvest Wits. Coach, a great way to end the tournament.
I think it was a good end for the boys since we lost the game yesterday that we were expecting that we go into the final. I think it was good that we finished number 3 also.
Coach, thank you so much for your time and congratulations on a 3rd place finish.
Thank you very much.
Coach Bidvest Wits, the coach of Masandawana, following a 2-0 victory over Bidvest Wits in the 3rd place playoff. Now, it is, of course, 2 South African sides who were the strongest in the competition, but unfortunately not being able to reach the final of the competition. I'm joined now by Dylan Shepherd, who is the mentor of the Clever Boys. Coach, a disappointing finish to a tournament that you started well, but please just highlight some of the key points that you take away from this tournament.
No, I'm very happy with the performance of the boys. You know, it's a difficult surface. The conditions are difficult. Some of the boys stood out. I'm really happy with the performance. Yeah, we can just look forward to a good season, and hopefully we can carry on with the young boys.
Coach, thank you so much, and all the best going forward.
Okay, thanks very much.
Dylan Shepherd, the coach of Bidvest Wits, after a 2-0 loss to Mamelodi Sundowns. Now, you do remember that they made the final last year and have to settle for 4th place in this tournament. Well, much to look forward to on your World of Champions. It's the final of the competition. It's All-Stars taking on the reigning champions of the competition, Atletico Madrid.